going to wait about 30 seconds just to see if anyone else can re-find this link. Otherwise, we're going to get started. I probably will still do an hour's flow, so if you need to finish by 11, know that I'm going to take this down to 20 past 11. All right, let's get started. We're going to start in a child's pose. So big toes to touch, knees nice and wide, forehead comes down towards the mat. And always with these classes, if you have anything that is painful or uncomfortable, or if it doesn't feel quite right, please back off, listen to your body. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. So forehead down, reach your fingertips forwards. And as you reach the fingers forwards, really think about rooting the seat bones down towards the heels. And let's take a couple of big sighs here. So nice big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and just clear it out. Do that once more. Big breath in. And just clear it out. Engaging your Ujjayi breath if you haven't done so already. Keeping the body exactly where it is, walk both hands towards the right. So it's all right if your hands move off the mat here. You just want to really reach them as far over towards the right as you can. Maybe place one palm on top of the other. And as you're reaching towards the right, you're really rooting that left seat bone down. And nice and slowly coming back through center and all the way over towards the left. Again, it's all right if your hands meet the mat. You might want to place one palm on top of the other. Keep reaching towards the left as you root that right seat bone down this time. Come back through center. And walk your hands back towards you so you lift up onto your knees. From here, tuck your toes under. We're going to take a little toe stand. So tucking the toes under, you might want to sort of use your hands to move the toes so they're all bending under. We're going to be here for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half today. So if you know that you find this one really intense, you might want to place a cushion in between your seat bones and your heels, or maybe a cushion underneath your knees. Otherwise, just coming into a position where you feel as comfortable as possible. If that's really impossible, you can keep the fingertips on the floor and just have a more gentle version of the pose. Wherever you are, whatever going on for you, maybe close down the eyes and really start focusing on your breath. Noticing what's coming up for you here, any thoughts, any sensations. And they're just trying to breathe into it. Notice if the tension that you're creating along the soles of the feet is spreading anywhere else in the body. So keeping the shoulders soft, the jaw soft, the forehead soft. And maybe we're getting to that point in this pose where you really want to start coming out of it. And a lot of people say that's when yoga really starts happening. That's when the practice begins, is when you want to leave the pose. We don't have too much longer here, so if you can stay with it, a couple more deep breaths. And then nice and gently releasing, so coming onto your hands and knees, untuck the toes, and maybe just tap the tops of the feet out on the floor. Maybe rotate the ankles a couple of times, take any movement that you need here. And then let's take a few cat and cow. So inhale, drop the stomach, arch the back, lift the gaze. Exhale as you tuck the tailbone, round the spine, chin comes towards the chest. Inhale as you arch, open up. And exhale to round. Keep moving like this to the speed of your own breath. Just checking in with the spine, with the shoulders, maybe even a little bit with the hips. Just notice what's going on this morning. Adding in any other twist or turn, any movement here, but keep matching the movement to your breath. Bring yourself to stillness with a flat back and walk your left fingertips out towards the left and your right fingertips out towards the right. From here, we're just going to sway slightly from side to side, so from left to right. Just swaying enough that you feel a little stretch on that inner arm, but not enough that the heel of the wrist starts lifting. Bring yourself to stillness and then walk your fingertips back towards you. So we're going for an opening with the arms. So the eye of the elbow is facing towards the top of the mat. From here, maybe stay in stillness if this feels quite intense, or you might want to just rock backwards and forwards. Again, notice which parts of the hands are connected with the floor. And really try and keep the heel of the wrist rooted down. Spread the fingers wide. And bring yourself to stillness. This time I'm going to turn so the back of the hand is on the floor. Again, this one might feel quite intense, so feel free to stay in stillness. Otherwise, open and close the fingers. So just spending a bit of time to start our power practice this morning by warming up the wrists. We use them a lot in yoga, so it's important to warm them up, stretch them out. And then we're going to release that. So turning around the hands, sit back on the heels, just shake the wrists out a couple of times. Great. So from here, we're going to walk our hands back to the top of the mat and lift up into a downward facing dog. So maybe pedal out the feet slightly, bending one knee at a time. Maybe twisting the hips slightly, feeling your way into your downward facing dog. Make sure the fingertips are spread wide, the toes are spread wide. And you can have a bend in the knees here if that feels good. Slowly roll yourself forwards into a high plank. I'm going to take you through a slow chaturanga here. At any point, if your arms feel shaky or if you feel like your hips are sinking, drop your knees onto the floor. So shift your weight forward, shoulders are over the wrists. Bend the elbows slowly down. Upward facing dog, open the chest, knees are lifted off the floor. And then from your up dog, you're going to tuck the toes under, come back into your low plank. High plank, downward facing dog. So we're going through a chaturanga and then we're reversing it back. We're going to do that again. So rolling forwards to your high plank. Remember, you can drop your knees at any point if you want to. Bend your elbows halfway down. Upward facing dog, open the chest. From here, we bend the elbows, tuck the toes, low plank. High plank, downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Building heat straight away this morning. Roll forwards nice and slowly, rolling the body forwards, high plank. Low plank. Up dog, open the chest. From your up dog, you drop the chest, tuck the toes, low plank. High plank. Downward facing dog. Slowly walk your feet to your hands, bending the knees as much as you need to here. Let's take a ragdoll once you get to the top of the mat. Opposite hand comes to opposite elbow. Really let the head hang heavy. You might want to have a generous bend in the knees here if that feels good, but really starting to wake up the back line of our bodies. Release your hands. On an inhale, slowly, slowly rolling all the way up to standing. Head is the last thing to lift. Reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. Bring your hands together at heart center and maybe close down the eyes here, or it's a soft gaze towards the floor. Taking a moment to set an intention or maybe dedication for your practice this morning. Allow whatever that thought is that comes to your mind right now to power you through your practice. Gently open the eyes. Inhale as we reach our arms up. Exhale, we're folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, high to low plank. Your arms are nice and warm already, so if you want to go straight into it, please do. Up dog or it's a baby cobra, you choose. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Just allowing your breath to guide your movement, so try not to rush into the next pose or into the next breath. Full breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, soften knees, gaze forwards, walk, step or float to your hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Inhale, we rise tall. Exhale, bow forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head reaches forwards. Exhale, step it back, high to low plank, nice and controlled with this movement. Inhale, it's up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Check back in with the hands and the feet, pressing down with each of the fingertips, the knuckle pads. Spread the toes wide on the mat. Soften knees, gaze in between your hands as lightly, as quietly as you can. Float to your hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Inhale, rise tall. Exhale, bow forwards. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, step or float back to your low plank. As you inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. As you exhale, feet to hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Bring your big toes to touch. Bend your knees, chair pose. Sit your hips nice and low. Make sure the waist is pressing right down into the heels here. Maybe the 10 toes lift. Fold. Halfway lift. High to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot steps forwards, warrior one. Press both feet down, inhale, rise. Exhale, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot steps forwards, warrior one. Low plank. Allowing your breath to guide your movement. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just noticing how the body's feeling as we start warming it up. Notice what's happening to your breath. And if at any point you feel like you're losing control of your breath, just slow things down, maybe come to a child's pose. Soften knees, gaze forwards, jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Bend your knees, chair pose. Fold. Flat back on the inhale. Exhale, step or maybe float back, low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Right foot forwards, warrior one. As you exhale, step it back, maybe a three-legged plank. Keep that right leg lifted as you lower halfway. Inhale, up dog, both feet are on the floor. Exhale, down facing dog. Left foot forwards, warrior one. Again, as you exhale, maybe going for that three-legged plank. Keep that left leg lifted as you lower halfway. Drop both feet down, up dog. Downward facing dog. So whenever I give you options in these classes, you feel free if you want to take them. If it doesn't work for your body or if you're not feeling them, don't feel like you have to follow exactly what I do. Let's go for one more sun B. Big breath in. Exhale it all out, feet to hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Chair pose, sink your hips even lower this time. Fold forwards. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, high to low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Right foot forwards, warrior one, rise two. Exhale, maybe that three-legged down dog, three-legged plank, keep it lower halfway. Up dog, down dog. Left foot steps forwards, warrior one. Three-legged plank. If you're staying with me, don't worry if you're not. Low plank. Both feet down, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just taking a few breaths here in your down dog. Maybe a big sigh will feel good now in through the nose. Open the mouth and just let it all go. Bring your big toes together to touch. Lift your right leg up. Bend your right knee, open the hip. So think about stacking the right hip on top of the left. And as you find this movement, you keep your shoulders square to the floor. Straighten that right leg back out behind you. Bring your knee to your nose. Kick back. Bring your knee forwards and gently step your right foot in between your hands. Drop that back knee. Lift onto your fingertips and really think about reaching the chest forwards. Allow the hips to sink down here. It might feel nice to take a little pulse here, or if you need to make any movement, maybe shift that foot forwards, just opening through the glutes, the front of that left thigh. Breathing deeply. Tuck your back toes under, lift the back knee, rise up, crescent lunge. Use your core to keep you stable. Breathing here. Reach your right arm back, left arm forwards, and open twist here. Try to keep the hips in line. See if you can lift that back heel a little bit higher. Your heart. Inhale to open the chest. Exhale, we're twisting towards our right. So hooking that left elbow over the right thigh. Squeeze your left glute here. Maybe you keep palms pressing together. Maybe you open the arms. Maybe if you're ready for it, you go for a bind. Don't worry if the bind isn't working today. Breathe deeply. Moving slowly. If you're bound, let go. Everyone come back to center. Reach the arms tall. Drop the back heel, warrior one. So keeping the chest square to the front of the room. Press down with the back edge of that back foot. Interlace your fingers behind you. Inhale, we open. Exhale, humble warrior. Crown of the head comes down towards the floor on the inside of that right foot. Try not to dump all your weight forwards here, so you're pressing down with that back foot. With the intention that one day the crown of the head might just touch the floor. Might seem like a crazy idea today. One. From here, we're going to straighten that front foot, turn the back foot out, lift the right toes, Skandasana, bend into that left knee. Your left heel can either be on or off the floor, your choice. If you're wobbling around, maybe you keep your hands to the floor. From here, we're going to spin into a crescent lunge towards the back of our mat. So left foot is forwards here. Hands come together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twisting towards your left this time. Again, find that connection with the elbow and the thigh and use that connection to spiral the chest open a little bit more. Breathing deeply. Come back to center. Start to spin and drop into that Skandasana towards the back of the mat so the left knee is bent. Options here to keep the hands towards the floor or maybe challenge your balance. Keep the hips as low as you can. Skandasana towards the top of the mat. Right knee is bent. Left toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Great work. From here, spin open, crescent lunge towards the top of your mat. Warrior two, opening out. Flip your front palm and reverse. Extended side angle, forearm to thigh, left fingertips reach up. So if you're new to the practice or maybe feeling a little bit tired today, just stay exactly where you are. Other option, drop your right hand down towards the floor. Another option, go for a half or a full bind. If you're staying with me this morning, I'm going to go for a reverse bird of paradise. If you are bound, bring your gaze to your front foot. Step the back foot in halfway. Now have your gaze slightly in front of that right toe and lean your weight forward so you lift the back foot up. Keep breathing. Holding it for 3, for 2, for 1. Everyone come back through their extended side angle, so always coming back out the way you came in. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to mat. Take a vinyasa or maybe skip it out. Go straight to your down dog, your choice. Just noticing how the different sides of your body are feeling right now. Big toes to touch. Left leg lifts, left knee bends, open those hips. Think about how close you can bring your left heel towards your seat bones. Straighten that leg back out and bring your knee to your nose. Really roll your body weight forwards. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your nose and nice and gently, nice and softly step that foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee down. Again, lifting onto the fingertips, think about reaching the chest forwards. Just getting into the hips, the hip flexor. Tuck the back toes, lift the back heel, and using your core as your sort of control center here, just lift up, nice and easy. Maybe you want to swivel that back foot further back to deepen the stance. Let's go for that open twist. Left arm reaches back, right arm reaches forwards. Try and have the movement from the mid-spine, upper spine, so the hips are keeping exactly where they are. Gaze can be wherever you want, but maybe you get the neck involved, look towards the left fingertips. Coming back to center, crescent lunge. Hands together. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, twisting towards your left. Choosing where you take this. If you want to stay exactly where you are, that's a great place to be. Maybe you open the arms. Maybe you go for the bind. Maybe on one side the bind was easy and on the other it's completely impossible. That's very normal. Come back to center, crescent lunge. Keeping the arms, the torso exactly where it is. Drop that back heel, warrior 1. Interlace your fingers behind you. Open the chest. Humble warrior, head comes down towards the floor. Reaching the hands towards the top of your mat. Again, don't forget about the back foot, really pressing the outer edge of that back foot down. Moving slowly, come back up. We're going to move into that Skandasana. So starting to bend through that right knee even. So towards the back of the mat, left toes are pointing up, find your balance. This right heel can either be lifted like mine. If you have the space, you're going to drop that right heel down towards the floor. Once you found your balance, we're going to spin open, crescent lunge to the back of the mat. Right foot is forwards here. Hands come together at heart. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, twisting towards your right. Opening the chest as much as you can here. Keep squeezing that left glute. Make your way back to center. With control, spinning back into your Skandasana at the back of the mat. Right knee is bent, left toes point up. Maybe you challenge yourself to try not to touch the floor and keep the hips as low as you can as you spin to Skandasana at the top of the mat. This time, right toes are lifted. Nice work. From here, crescent lunge. Left foot is forwards now. Opening out, warrior 2. Taking a moment here, press down with the outer edge of that back foot. Inhale, we reverse. Exhale, extended side angle, left forearm, left thigh, right arm lifts. Choose if you stay here. Maybe you go further. Maybe you come for a half or a full bind. If you are staying with me, we're going to go for our reverse bird once more. Gaze towards the front foot, step that back foot Halfway in. Gaze shifts just in front of that left foot, sort of towards the top of your mat. Shift your weight forwards and just let that right foot lift up. You might be a little bit wobbly, it might not quite work on this side. Keep breathing. For 3, for 2, for 1. If you're bound or in your bird, make your way back through an extended side angle. Big breath in here. Exhale, take a vinyasa or skip it out and meet straight in your downward facing dog, your choice. Just taking a few deep breaths in your down dog. If you want to sigh out, if you want to come to child's pose, by all means come into your child's pose. Allow your breath to soften back down, especially if you lost control of it a little bit. From here, if you're in a child's pose, making your way back to a downward facing dog. We're going to all come into our dolphin, so dropping onto your forearms, and if you can here, keep your forearms sort of parallel to each other. Fingers are spread wide, hips are lifted. If there's a lot going on here already, stay where you are. Maybe you walk your feet in slightly. Think about the space in between your shoulder blades and press that up towards the ceiling. If you can, gaze is towards your thumbs. Options to just stay here or take 3 taps, tapping your nose to the space in between your thumbs. So if you're staying with me, go for that tap. Lift back up, 2 more, tapping the nose. Lifting up, last one, tapping the nose. Lifting up. From here, everyone drop onto your knees, big toes to touch. Let's take a child's pose just for about 3 deep breaths. If you are feeling super energetic, by all means stay in your dolphin. But it feels quite nice to just give the shoulders a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a stretch here in our child's pose. Now when you are ready, coming back into a downward facing dog. Step, walk, or float to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're folding forwards. Big toes to touch. Bend your knees, chair pose. So sitting nice and low in your chair, maybe you can take a little bounce in your chair. So bouncing the hips and finding the lowest spot you can bounce to and then see if you can pause there. You'll know once you've found it. Trying to stack the shoulders on top of the hips as much as you can. You can see I'm slightly leaning forwards, but try not to be really leaning forwards. Breathing deeply. Hands come together at heart center. Inhale, find length through the spine. Exhale, twisting towards your right. So it's that same movement that we took in our twisted lunge just a few moments ago. Press the elbow and thighs together to deepen your twist. Stay with it, and just as you want to come out of the pose, sink your hips a little bit lower. On your next inhale, come back to your chair pose. Exhale, fold forwards. Separate your feet. Grab your big toes with your first 2 fingers. Take a halfway lift here, so you can bend the knees as much as you need to. And then fold, fold, fold. Allow the upper body to just relax, melt down towards the floor. Might be nice to take a gentle shake of the head, yes and no. Release the toes. Bring the feet together to touch. Chair pose. Again, finding that nice low point. And this time in our chair, before we twist, see if you can come up onto your tippy toes. See how high you can lift your heels. If you're wobbly or shaky, just enjoy those sensations. You can do whatever you want with your arms here. Keeping the heels lifted, lower the tummy, the torso towards the thighs. So it's just floating above the thighs. Fingertips reach back. Keep lifting the heels. Come back to center. Drop the heels down. Knees are still bent. Hands to heart, twisting towards your left this time. Sink the hips as low as you can. Press your palms into each other. Allow your breath to power you through this pose. Last few breaths. Stay with it. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, folding forwards. This time, separate your feet and slide the whole of the palm of the hand under the foot. So the toes are right up on your wrist creases. Again, take a halfway lift. Really bend the knees if you need to find that space. And then exhale to fold. Let the head hang heavy. If it's too intense on the hamstrings to have the whole of the hand underneath the mat, underneath the foot, feel free to just take a ragdoll here, so opposite hand to opposite elbow. But if you can, have the toes right up towards the wrists, and maybe give the toes a little wiggle, massaging the wrists. Release the hands. Open the feet to mat width apart. Toes pointing out. Let's drop into our Malasana squat. So I'm going to give you quite a few options from here. If you're newer to the practice, maybe just staying with your Malasana squat throughout. You can join in or leave as much as you want. Before we get moving, let's get our Malasana nice and secure. So pressing down with the baby toe edges of the feet. Elbows to the insides of the knees, crown of the head lifts. If your heels are lifted and you want to stay here, just working on your squat, maybe place a block or cushion or something underneath the heels. So you want to be as comfortable as possible here. So first option, staying here. Second option, crow pose. So if you know where you're going with your crow, go ahead and fly, lift up. Otherwise, you're finding the elbows, the shelf with the upper arms for the knees, and you're just shifting your weight forwards. So maybe you take a little bit of time, just feeling your way into a crow pose. If you are lifted, you can choose to stay here. Think about reaching the crown of the head forwards. If you want to stay with me, gently place the crown of the head towards the floor. Options to stay here, just working with balancing between the hands and the head. Third option, you're going to lift your feet up towards the ceiling, tripod headstand. Make sure you're breathing. Final option from here, start to bring the feet down towards the floor, keeping the legs straight. Once you can see your toes, shoot back into a low plank. Otherwise, if you're still in your Malasana, stay where you are. If you're in a crow, maybe you shoot back, take a vinyasa. Once you get to down dog, stepping forwards, meeting everyone in their Malasana squat. Whew, that one is hot when you're talking at the same time. Place your hands flat to the floor. Lift the hips, we're coming into a forward fold. From here, slowly, 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 especially if you were just in a headstand, maybe pausing for a moment. But otherwise, we're slowly rolling up to standing. So take it slow if you have any sort of head rush, especially if you were just upside down. Take a moment on the floor. Otherwise, we're all up. Let's go for a tree pose. Sole of the right foot to the inside of the calf or the thigh. Start with hands together and really find your balance here. Once you found your balance, maybe open the arms up. Maybe you bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. See if you can stand a little bit taller here. Check in with your breath. Check in with your face, your jaw. Tree on the left, swap sides. Sole of that left foot to the inside of the calf or the thigh. Again, starting with your hands at heart center. Really root that standing foot down, especially if you're feeling wobbly today. Maybe visualize this leg as a tree trunk with roots going down into your yoga mats. Then choose, maybe you open the arms, maybe you lift your gaze, maybe even close your eyes. See what happens. And if your eyes are closed and you fall out of the pose, see if you can keep your eyes still closed as you come back in. And everyone release, open up the eyes if they were closed. Let's lift up the right knee, left hand to left hip. Flex the right toes. Open the knee out towards the right. Choose if you stay here, or maybe open your left arm towards the left, gazing over the left thumb. Come back to center. Keep that knee lifted, but let go of it. Reach your arms up. Try not to tilt the hips, and then straighten that right leg. See if you can lift that right foot just a little bit higher. Bend the right knee, bring it in towards your chest, and then keeping that knee bent, we're going to take a warrior three, keeping the knee bent just for the beginning. So you're really lighting up your hamstrings here. It might feel a bit wobbly and a bit tense in the back of the leg. And then straighten that leg coming into your full warrior three, reaching your heel backwards. Breathing deeply. Hands come together at heart center. Left hand drops down towards the floor, maybe a block if you have one close by, or something you can use as a block. We're opening out into a half moon. Keep the right toes flexed. Let's bring our right hand to our right hip today. And gaze is down towards your left foot. We're going to lower the right foot so it hovers next to the left. Lift it back up. We're going to do that 3 more times. Lower that foot down so it hovers next to the left. Lift it back up. Use control here. 2 more. Lower down. Lifting up. Lowering down. Last one. We lift up and we hold it up. Reach the right arm up. Full half moon. Breathing deeply. From here, switch your core muscles on as you drop that right hip, warrior three. Once more, use control. From your warrior three, start to lift up. Eagle pose, right leg over left, right arm under left. Enjoy any wobbles or any shakes that might be going on. Maybe that left standing foot is starting to feel the heat, feel the pressure of all this balancing, this wobbling. From here, start to lean forwards, and as you lean forwards, coming back into your warrior three. Last one. Breathing here. Start to bend that right knee. We're coming out of the pose the way we came in. So once the knee is bent, come up to standing. Bring that right knee in towards the chest, and then place it down. Great. Shake it out. Especially that left foot. I felt that quite a lot. Maybe tippy toe to flat foot a couple of times. Let's do that on the other side. Right hand to right hip, left knee lifts. Flex those left toes, stand up nice and tall. Open your left knee towards the left. Choose if you want to stay here, or maybe open your right arm towards the right, gaze over your right thumb. And find lightness, especially if you are falling or wobbling. Try not to get frustrated. Come back to center. Keep that knee lifted, reach both arms up. Straighten your left leg. Don't worry if you're not lifting it very high, but think about the upper body being nice and strong here. Let's bend the left knee. And again, we're going to do that same thing. So transitioning into your warrior three, keeping the left knee bent. Really using your hamstrings here. So you should feel them light up. And let's straighten that left leg. Warrior three. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Think about lengthening the whole body so there's a straight line from that left heel all the way to the crown of the head. Hands come together at heart center. Right hand drops down to the floor or block. Having a block underneath your hand will make these up and down with the legs a little bit easier. Left hand to left hip, gazes towards your right toes. Let's lower that left foot so it hovers next to the right. Lift it back up. And again, lower it back down. Hover it next to that right foot. 2 more like this, lifting up. Lowering down. Lifting up. Last one, lower down. Lift up, coming into your full half moon. Maybe reach the left fingertips all the way up. Can you lift that left leg a little bit higher? Start to drop that left hip, warrior three. Coming back, you've been here already before. Breathe. Eagle, left leg over, left arm comes under. Focus your gaze. Squeeze the thighs together here and see if you can sink your hips a little bit lower. Start to lean your weight forwards, unravel warrior three, last one. Leaving this little sequence as we came in, bend that left knee. Slowly bring it in towards your chest, coming all the way up to standing. And lower that foot down. Again, maybe it's just shake out the legs, the feet, especially if the arches are feeling a little bit tight. If you're not there already, step to the top of your mat. Inhale to reach up, two. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Pausing in your high plank. Know that whenever we come into a high plank, you can always drop the knees if you want to. Let's run our attention along our body here. Pull the muscles in the legs in towards the bones. Think about a gentle tuck of the tailbone as you pull your core in and up. Press that space in between the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Fingertips, knuckle pads are pressing down. As everything switches on, you'll notice it feels a little bit lighter to stay here. Think about reaching the chest forwards as you reach your heels back. Stay with it, keep breathing. Last few breaths. Use that Ujjayi breath to power you in this pose. Downward facing dog. Our 1 minute plank is done. Big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and really just let it go. Right foot steps forwards, warrior one. Inhale, rise up, two. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Reach forwards and down into your triangle pose. Maybe your gaze reaches up towards the left hand. And it's always in these poses when our upper body reaches forwards, check in with the back foot to really press that back foot down. Lift back up. Step that back foot in and out slightly. So we're setting up for pyramid pose. You want to make sure your hips are square to the front of the mat or room. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. Inhale to open. Exhale, folding forwards, aiming to bring your forehead down towards your right chin. If this feels really tight in the hamstrings, feel free to take a micro bend in your front knee or both knees. Not overstretching anything or forcing anything. Take a halfway lift from here. So find that flat back, keeping the hands where they are. Shift your weight into that front foot, lift your back foot. You're in a sort of modified warrior three. Reaching your left heel backwards. Keep breathing. Maybe take a little bend in that right knee, really moving into your strength here. Straighten that right knee back out. Slowly come up to standing. Let that left foot stand next to the right. Release your hands. Inhale to reach up, two. Exhale, folding forwards. Halfway lift. High to low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Left foot forwards, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, reach forwards, triangle. Try not to overstretch this hamstring. So really notice what's going on, and we want to be feeling this in the belly of the hamstring. So not behind the knee and not right at the top, sort of at the bottom of your glutes. Inhale your way back up to standing. Step that back foot in and out slightly. We're going to go for pyramid once more. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. And then notice which hand usually goes on top. And then see if you can reverse what you do. It feels a little bit weird to get into it, but just give it a go. Just going your non-dominant hand forwards. And we take a big breath in. We exhale to fold. Forehead towards the shin. Try not to cling onto the mat with your toes here. So maybe challenge yourself by trying to lift the 10 toes off the floor. If you've managed to lift them, maybe see if you can spread them out and then place them back down. Come to a halfway lift, flat back. And nice and gently float that right leg up. So we're in our modified warrior 3 once more. Try not to let your right hip lift. We want to keep the hips level. And then choose, if there's enough going on here, stay. Or maybe take a little bend through that left knee. If you're bending it, straighten it back out. Use control here. And then slowly come all the way up to standing. Right foot comes next to the left. Mountain pose. Feet are hip width apart. Arms alongside the body. Palms facing forwards. Maybe close down the eyes here. Coming back to similar engagement that we found in our plank pose, so working your awareness from your feet upwards. Listen to your Ujjayi breath. Allow the sound of it to soothe your body, soothe your mind. And keeping that intensity in your breath for the final little section of our practice. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. You can keep your eyes closed here if you want to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Options to drop the knees or keep them lifted. We're going to straight away just lower all the way down onto our tummies. If the eyes are closed, you can keep them closed by all means. Otherwise, open them back up, one cheek down. Interlace your fingers at your sacrum, forehead to the mat. Lift up to your locust pose. See how long you can stretch your body out and then how high you can lift. Keeping that same intensity and breath that we just found in our standing mountain pose. So no matter what comes our way, whether it's on or off the yoga mat, we have control over our breath. One more full breath in. And as you exhale, release, letting go. Bring the opposite cheek to the mat. Sway the hips gently from side to side. Bring your hands out, sort of in cactus arms, so bent elbows. It's a little bit like this, like goalposts with the arms. And then hands, palms are flat to the floor, elbows are in line with the shoulders. Palms are flat to the floor, forehead down. We're going to take that same pose, but lifting up the hands as we go. So press the pelvis down and then lift up. So gaze this time might be further down as opposed to forward. So we don't want to find any crunching in the neck. Think about drawing the elbows up here. Breathe. Stay with it for another 3. For 2. For 1, gently release. Sway the hips, take a sigh, whatever you need to do. From here, we're going to push ourselves up through a tabletop position. Walk your knees in between your hands and come to a seated position. Both legs stretched out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall here. Make sure you're right on your seat bones. Reach up. And then fold forwards. So hands can either come to shins, ankles, soles of the feet, but really drawing the chest forwards here. And don't worry if the feet are a million miles away and you're still sitting upright. That's a great place to be. As long as you're breathing deeply and you can feel something going on physically, then that's all we're looking for. Nice and slowly lifting all the way back up. We're going to go for a double pigeon from here. So we're going to go right leg on top to begin with. I'm going to give you a couple of options, so don't worry if this isn't available for you. We're going to go left shin is flat to the floor, so parallel to the top of your mat. We're going to go for right shin on top, so we're trying to stack the shins on top of each other. Some of you, your knee is going to be straight down on that left foot. For others of you, you're going to be a little bit more like me with your knee lifted. If your knee is lifted, place something you might have underneath it so it's resting. For others of you that are sort of way up high and this feels really inaccessible, just place your right foot in front of your left knee. So you're kind of in this loose cross-legged position. So you've got a few options here. Either the right foot is on the floor in front of the left knee, or it's on top of the left knee and we're drawing the right knee towards the left foot. So the aim of this is to have the shins parallel to each other. Don't worry if it doesn't look like that. If some of you have got your shins stacked on top of each other with not much of a gap here, you might start folding forwards. That is quite an intense pose, so don't try and fold forwards unless you're quite open in the hips or this feels really good. Don't force anything here. Otherwise, we're staying upright, maybe close down the eyes, and just allow the hips to start gently opening. And know as we stay here for a little bit longer, if maybe you've got your block underneath and you want to get rid of it to allow more, please do. If the opposite's happening and you feel like you want to back off, also that is totally fine too. So listen to your body here. We want to look after our hips. And if you can, keep an eye on the toes that they're flexed back towards your knees. Last few deep breaths here. Try not to tense anywhere else up in your body. And we're going to unravel the legs. If you need to shake them out a little bit, please do. We're going to take a quick forward fold. If forward fold isn't comfortable for you, just maybe lean backwards for a couple of breaths. Otherwise, taking a little forward fold, releasing anything out. And then we'll set up for the other side. So this time it's going to be left leg on top. So you choose if you want to go for the full pose, you place the left foot on top of the right knee. If you're quite tight or if it's just not working out today, place the left foot in front of the right knee. So you've got that loose cross-legged position, almost a bit like a square. If you're going for foot on top of the knee, maybe you need a block underneath it. Maybe like me, you can see one side is a lot lower than the other. That's really normal to have one hip a little bit tighter, a little bit more open than the other. And just taking a few breaths. If you want to fold forwards, by all means, go for it. Really taking this time as we slow our practice down to listen to what our body is trying to tell us. If you find your mind is wandering off to other places, other things, maybe coming back to that thought you started the class with. So your intention, your dedication for your practice today. And we're going to unravel this side. Again, if that felt quite tight, quite uncomfortable, shaking the legs out or maybe giving them a little rub here might feel nice. And then when you are ready, keeping the legs straight out on the mat, arms out in front, nice and slowly, we're going to lower down onto the mat. Keep breathing as you go. Find where there's that spot that you really want to sink into it. And see if you can control the movement, coming all the way down onto your back. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze here. Maybe a little rock side to side, massaging the lower back. Happy baby, grab the outer edges of your feet. Pull your knees in towards your armpits. Release your feet, hug knees in once more. We're going to take a spinal twist from here. You choose if you prefer both knees at once or one knee at a time. It totally depends on your body. If you're going for one knee at a time, like knee hug your right knee in, let it fall over towards the left. Otherwise, it's both knees hugged in and let them both fall towards the left. Gaze and arm, right arm is towards the right. Try and keep both shoulders grounding down here. Just checking in if there's anything more you can soften, anything more you can let go of. And always just drawing your mind back to your breath. Come back through center. And either swap knees or keep both knees in towards your chest. And then either going with one or both knees over towards the right. Left arm reaches towards the left and gaze is also towards the left. Making your way back through center and then straight into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Take up space here, so open the legs out, let the feet fall open. Open the arms out, palms are facing the ceiling. Take any final adjustment or movement you need. And then see if you can bring your body into complete stillness for these final few moments. Letting go of your Ujjayi breath, letting go of any tension that you are holding on to. Start to deepen your breath. Bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. Roll onto your right side into a fetal position, pausing there. And then nice and slowly, in your own time, come up to a seated or kneeling position, hands together at heart center and your eyes closed. Taking a moment of gratitude to bring to your mind someone or something that you are grateful for right now. With that thought in your mind, lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. And together we bow forwards and say, Namaste. Thank you so much for staying. A couple of you stayed throughout, so thank you so much for bearing with me with my internet issues this morning. I hope you enjoyed the class. This class from next week is going to be on Zoom, which hopefully will avoid some of the issues that we had this morning. I'll send out more details. But if you're interested in joining next Sunday as a Zoom class, it'll be nice because it can be a little bit more two-way. So send me a message and I will send you the details. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, wonderful Bank Holiday Monday, and hopefully see you next week, which will be on time, fingers crossed, at 10 a.m. Thank you.